and I'm excited about coming here to this university and bringing other people in. You know, the nice thing about the team is you've got a guy like Lish, or you've got, just use that kid's in grad school. You know, I really enjoyed the kid. I mean, I had a lot of kids like him at Utah. You know, their names were Doliak or whatever. And, you know, but yet a guy like Tommy, you know, I don't want an A, I want an A effort. And Andre Miller's graduation is a C, meant as much to me as the 6 or 7 academic All-Americans. It was an honor and privilege to coach. Or the last call I got before I came today was Rick Hall won the Walter F. Byers Award at Ball State. He's the student athlete of the year in America. Graduated Northwestern Law School. But yet I'm just as proud of Scott Nichols on my Ball State team. You know, kid from inner city Detroit who got his degree and is now an exercise agent extraordinaire in Indianapolis and a volunteer to many good causes, Habitat for Humanity, things like that, which, you know, was part of the Ball State experience, and I want to make part of this experience. Yes?
Rick, do you think that the A-10 is the best fit for SLU, and do you think that SLU will be in the A-10 4 or 5 years from now?
Well, you know, the thing with the A-10, whatever that decision is about, is going to be Father's decision. And we didn't speak about that because it's a good league, and it's well run, and it's the league we're in right now, and there's no sense in hypothesizing, you know, because we're comfortable with it. We are committed to it as we speak, and, you know, all things are subject to change. I personally believe that the Big East will split 2 ways too. You know, they'll say that the unification of forces, and I think that, you know, as long as the Notre Dame football program is strong, they are going to join anybody. It's like those boys in the Pac-10 that we tried to join in Utah. You know, they understood counting to 10 and dividing the money versus counting to 12 and dividing the money. You know, and you know, so I think that those are all decisions that are you know, made, you know, by, first of all, by Father, because I understand the chain of command, and Cheryl and I'll have input probably if in fact there is a decision, but right now I don't even think about it. We're happy with the league. We are honored that the commissioners here today, and we hope that we can become a viable asset to it.
Rick, last week, Father Beyond said that things that were written or said in media slowed down these negotiations. What was it that happened?
Well, I didn't read, and I really asked the God, you know, you hear that, I really don't get involved. I'm computer illiterate, don't do email, and you know, I don't bury my head in the sand, but even at ESPN, you know, I'll tell you something that's interesting. At ESPN, when I did the games, I would watch 8 games, 4 of each team that we were playing, because that was the expectation level, and that's why I loved working there. Just like Father has a high expectation level, and I do as well. But I never listened to the audio, because I didn't want someone else's opinion. I knew enough about what was going on the screen, so I wanted it to be my opinion. I wanted it to be like what I would do as a coach. And I think I was very fair to coaches and offered things like the great John Chaney. I told my guys the other day, the former Temple coach, I could hardly wait for my team to meet him and him to talk to my team in Philadelphia, because you know what, he didn't let prejudice make him bitter, he let it make him better. And I explained to my team that John should have played the NBA and never did. He wallowed in anonymity in that Eastern League for years. Then he never got a break at Cheney State. He was a great coach, and part of that was the color of his skin, which shouldn't have mattered. And in this day and age, we've progressed so far that it doesn't. But, you know, I look at that experience, and hope I can pass that on. When we played Duncan at Wake Forest, I had Big House Games address the team. And, you know, so one of the movies I want to show my team is With All Deliberate Speed. I'm have a little bit of a part in that movie. And it's interesting enough. So that's the thing I like about St. Louis, the commitment to not any minority, but to all minorities. All minorities in Jesuit education are, you know, people who are kind of cast in that great Hubert Humphrey speech, in the shallows of life, whether that be someone in a trailer park who's white, or someone in a ghetto who's black, or someone in rural America. You know, I think that's what I love about Jesuit education, because we all have hope, and you know, like Hancock is in a better place, and his family will have to, you know, come full circle to that realization. And celebrate the time he had with us. And again, I felt so sad that we had to do this today, which is such a happy moment, juxtaposition with that yesterday. Yes?
Can you just discuss the recruiting situation with the time and taking the job?
Well, there's no more recruiting days, and the situation is what it is, and there's, you know, so we just move on. You know, we're looking forward to next year, and maybe we can pick someone off, but, you know, it's not necessarily a negative, it can become later a positive. Yes?
After having a couple of practices with the players you have now, what type of offense do you think you're going to run? Like, it's going to be up
Well, you know,
tempo?
you bring up a great point. There's been a lot of great questions. You know, but one thing I do is I look at a player's strengths and try to put him in a situation where he can do what he can do, not what he can't do. And I got that most of all from Don Nelson with Ricky Pierce and his utilization and taking Pierce off the scrap heap, and then Ricky went on to be a great player for us when I was with the Bucks. So I really got to assess these players. You know, I had them for an hour and a half, and you know, I just don't, you know, I was trying to get a message across to them. And I really enjoyed that. I'll tell you, I enjoyed that more than perhaps anything. And I had a wonderful time with Father and some of the administration Saturday night. And I really, you know, have, you know, many good friends. I'm lucky, but I like that practice situation the best. So I don't know what we're going to check. I don't know how I'd like to play. We want to push it. We want to break. We want to get out in transition. Number 2 is we're going to play man-to-man defense. 3, we're going to run NBA plays. And 4, we're going to put a priority on defending and rebounding, because say the Houston Rocket team in the last, dating back to the '89 Bad Boys, you know, there's not a team that's won that NBA without a defensive presence. And all these guys look at the NBA. You know, you do know this, the greatest player in the game, Jordan, was also the greatest defender. And those few nights when the ball didn't drop, he locked you up, and Harper, Pippen, and Jordan, and I had that film, put on the greatest defensive exhibition for one quarter I've ever seen. I love defense, I love talking ball. I should let everyone go, but everyone wants to stay and talk ball. You know, I'll talk ball all night. But I just don't know the guys well enough. I'm sorry to get so wrapped up in that. I love that basketball question.